I'm Dr. Mills, and I'm a physical therapist. And today we're going to go over how to do a pelvic exam via the abdomen with real-time ultrasound. So I have a SonoQ ultrasound. It connects to the iPad. You'll be able to see both displays. So want to let you see what my hand and operationally am doing, as well as what's going on the screen. So to get started, we will place the wand just below the abdomen. I've already applied the ultrasound jelly. So we're going to place the wand. From a standpoint of what is easily comfortable, oh, and there we have the bladder. Christian, my model here, I'm able to disclose his information. He is our head strength coach here at the clinic. He has a very full bladder right now, as you can see. So the bladder is the big basically open void lined with white. That is the detrusor muscle. So this is the inside of his pelvis. So as far as role playing goes, I'm going to just be giving him cues as far as what I want to do. Anytime I'm doing an initial examination, I'm not trying to over-explain what I have them doing. The only time I'm really doing that is if they have no idea what a Kegel is. But we're going to be checking strength, endurance, and coordination. So I'm going to explain those things as we go. So the first one we're going to check is none of those. I just want to see the general movement of what goes on with his pelvic floor. So Christian, I'm going to say, go ahead and lift your pelvic floor or do a Kegel. All right. Give me a few there. All right. And what we're looking for here is a little bit of lift of that void, right? So this is just the initial scan, initial taking a look at what's going on, and we want to just see a nice lift from the bottom here upwards. This is not my favorite view. My favorite view is when we go ahead and turn. So it's more of a side view, and we have bladder here, and then we're looking a little bit more towards the bottom. Sorry for my pressure. So as you can see, if I tilt it upwards, the bladder kind of comes out of focus. If I tilt it downwards, still have the bladder, and the pelvic floor is in the bottom right corner. So go ahead and give me another lift. Yep. And this is not the best shot, but what we see here is a lift upwards, and that's what we want to see. Okay, so now that we've established a baseline of where we are at in space, I'm going to get a little bit more gel. Now we're going to talk about, let's see, no, that's not as good. Now we're going to talk about the tests here. So the first test we're going to do is an endurance hold. And what I'm looking for is, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. You're going to lift the pelvic floor. And when I see a drop happen, I lost my good focus. So this is the thing about ultrasound, is when we're trying to get a good shot, mechanically speaking, sometimes you could lose it if you move, and then you have to go searching for it again, and that's okay. So that's about probably as good as we're going to get from this angle. Okay, so endurance hold. You're going to lift for me. I'm going to time you, and whenever I see the lift drop in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, then the endurance hold is over. So 3, 2, 1, lift. Ooh, getting a little shaky. Okay, and relax. So our standard is, you know, based off of the perf method, 10 seconds is ideal. I guess I should have said I'm going to go ahead and give an aside. I'm breaking the fifth wall here, kind of like Deadpool, but the 10-second mark is good enough. What we're looking for here is, you know, if he gets to like 15, 20 seconds, I'm going to basically say, okay, that's good. But that was a pretty strong contraction. We saw what we wanted to see. As another aside, the big thing here is we don't want to see a whole lot of movement from the top, which is the abdomen. We just want to mostly see what's going on in the bottom right-hand corner. So that was pretty good. There was a little bit of movement in the abdomen, wasn't anything crazy, but he definitely wasn't attempting to generate a pelvic floor lift from the abdomen or holding his breath. He continued to breathe. This is, again, not something that I'm going to typically instruct on them not to do because I just want to see what their natural state is. And then we go from there. So the next one is the strength test. So Christian, you're going to do 5 power Kegels. So you're going to lift the pelvic floor fully upwards and relax fully. You're going to give me 5 of those, and once you finish the 5th one, I'll say time. All right? Hold on one sec. All right, go ahead. Nice. All right, relax. That was 5. How'd you feel?
Good.
Okay. So what we're looking for there is Christian to finish the 5 contractions in under 10 seconds, and that was under 10 seconds. So he would get a gold star for that. And then the last one, the coordination contractions, or quick flick contractions, is going to be 10 fast contractions. And let me go ahead and reset my clock here. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to do 10 as fast as you can. Again, fully contracting and fully relaxing. Ready, go. Solid. That was 10. Great. Okay, so that took about 15 seconds. Ideally speaking, we want to see about 10. So at this point in the testing phase, objective measurements are about done. Those are the big things that we want to see. But from a teaching phase, sometimes I'll go ahead and talk about what I saw on the 3 individual pieces if I wasn't breaking the, is it 4th or 5th wall? It's 4th wall, right? I said 5th wall. 4th wall. If I wasn't breaking the 4th wall and giving commentary, I wouldn't have said as much as I said. But for the quick flick contractions here, now that we're done for the test, as an example, I would say, okay, Christian, so your quick flick contractions look pretty good. They were strong. You lifted well. Could have had a little bit more lift, but your descent, your ability to relax, was a little low, right? So, or slow, not low. So we would want to be able to speed that up a little bit. So my favorite cue is the Tower of Terror cue. So as soon as you hit the top, you're going to let it drop, let the bottom fall out, and just relax. Like don't hold back, don't try to slow it down, just let it drop out. And then at this point we could retest if we wanted to, Or you could just make a note and say, okay, well, we'll come back with this, but this is the thing that, as far as the 3 objective measures go, you'll probably want to work on the most, is the ability to relax. So let's go ahead and take a look at another one, just because we're here. So let's do another set of 10 of the quick flicks and see if you can apply that. And I'm gonna start on you. Ready?
Yep.
Go ahead. Okay. So we actually froze at rep 7. Okay, that's all right. So that's not a big deal. That happens sometimes. Technical malfunctions. But what we did observe leading up until that point is that the relaxation looked a little bit better, but you weren't lifting as strongly here as you were right before. So it's just going back to the idea of coordination, it's giving you feedback of things that you would want to work on. So functionally speaking, I'm going to go ahead and set this down right here. That'll be it for the ultrasound. So functionally speaking, things such as, running, jumping, plyometric activities, high-speed activities, laughing, coughing, sneezing, pelvic pain, all of these things, if we're taking someone through the principles of loading, right, isometric, isotonic, plyometric, these are all plyometric movements as it pertains to the pelvic floor. So what does that mean? Coordination for us at Alinea falls under the plyometric phase in most of these cases from a training stimulus, right? So if that's the case and they have a pretty good amount of strength and endurance, we don't have to over-treat those things and we can move them right along. On the front end, because he had an issue with dropping, it's not gonna just be about Kegels. It's gonna be also relaxation techniques, lengthening techniques, the ability to recognize where his pelvic floor is in space from a lifting standpoint, but just as much as a relaxation standpoint. And we can dialogue in class from a case study standpoint as far as this goes, and discuss a little bit more of what that would look like from a treatment perspective. But this is Real-Time Ultrasound 101 as it pertains to the pelvic floor. Hope this helped. Thanks.